What's going on? My name is Michael and welcome to Fudge Muppet. As you may know, I just can't get enough of Starfield. From exploring new planets to discovering new side quests or just building up my spaceship, it's just all so much fun. Now, one of my favorite places in all of Starfield is Neon, and I've got to admit I think I like it a bit extra playing with the gangster background. But if you're a cyber runner, a bounty hunter, a space scoundrel, or any other morally grey character, then you're probably going to love it just as much. But it is Starfield, which means there's something for everyone in Neon. Perhaps you're playing a bringer of justice type character and will enjoy bringing some much needed order to this chaotic place. But before we venture through the mean streets of Neon to explore 15 things you do not want to miss, I'm fortunate to say that this video has been sponsored by Manscaped, who sent me their Beard Hedger Pro Kit right in time for some very overdue care. I've been doing nothing but gaming, and I must say, as much fun as I've been having, I'm a little sick of brushing moustache hairs away from my mouth when I'm trying to eat, so the timing on this one was perfect. The Beard Hedger itself comes with 20 different cutting length settings with a zoom wheel that lets you use just one guard. I tend to trim my beard just a little to maintain a longer shape, but after doing that with the Hedger, I was tempted to go shorter than usual and see just how gentle it really was. My skin is pretty prone to irritation, but I can happily say that I had none at all while using the Hedger. The Hedger Pro Kit is stacked with care products to nourish your beard, including a beard shampoo and conditioner, a beard balm for putting every strand in its place, and a beard oil perfect for moisturizing dry skin. In addition to the travel case, there's some extras inside, including a beard brush, comb, and scissors. So if you're due for a freshen up, then keep your beard looking its best by heading to manscaped.com today, using our link below, and get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use promo code FudgeMuppet at checkout. Now let's head into the Volii system and land on Neon, the city on the planet known as Volii Alpha. I'll be avoiding big plot spoilers, but I will of course be explaining bits about the lore on Neon and some of the quests on offer, how to start them, and what kind of things they entail. The first thing you won't want to miss is visiting Ryujin Industries and applying for your new job, if that's your thing. You go down the lift at the spaceport and into this main area known on the map menu as Neon Core. There are essentially two sides to it, Bayu Plaza and Akuchi Markets. You want to go all the way down the Akuchi side to find Ryujin Industries, the king of the mega corporations on Neon, who are very much able to exert a strong influence wherever necessary. Ryujin is known for many things, and own many subsidiary companies which you can ask them about, but most significantly I would say they are known for Neuroamp technology, a kind of external device that sits on your face and improves your brain's performance. One of the coolest experiences I personally had here was that I didn't realize that they're one of the main 4 factions you can join in the game. I actually filled out my job application from one of these kiosk boards all the way in New Atlantis, thinking it was just some miscellaneous kind of quest, and went in for a job interview, got the job, and started doing missions. I remember telling Scott, wow, this Ryujin questline just keeps going. Turns out it's the Starfield equivalent of Skyrim's Thieves Guild in the sense that it's a full-on joinable faction that will have you doing questionable but non-lethal activities that benefit from stealth. It's perfect for saboteur operatives and cyber runner type characters, or just anyone role-playing with a grey morality. It's cool for speech too. You'll have some opportunities to approach things with a silver tongue to better manipulate your way through the shady corporate world. You can apply at one of the kiosk boards around the place, or be directed to one right in the lobby by talking to the receptionist. The next thing you won't want to miss are the 2 specialty stores in the Ryujin lobby. Now, I actually missed visiting these for ages in my first playthrough doing the whole Ryujin plot without really looking around downstairs. I'd always just make a beeline for the elevator and get straight down to business. One of these stores sells Neuroamps, which can be bought from various vendors throughout the settled systems, but this is a reliable way to get many types early on, boosting social related skills like diplomacy, intimidation, and instigation. Later on, they can sell you Mark III models, providing a 15% boost to diplomacy chance, for example, instead of Mark I's 5%. There's also an EM weapons specialty shop where you can buy EM rifles called Nova Blast Disruptors. Just make sure you hold down the trigger a bit before releasing to actually charge it and get the most EM damage output possible for knocking out your foes instead of killing them. You can use it for a more pacifist approach, or if you simply want to take out a tough enemy fast and then switch to your normal weaponry to attack them while they're stunned. At very early levels, the Nova Blast Disruptors don't seem to be there for sale, only the Nova Light pistols were for me, which are particle beam type weapons weapons, so at a low level you can steal one off the wall if you can get away with it, and then just sell it to the trade authority and buy it back in the same trade instance from the buyback section for the same price to clean it of its stolen status. But Neon is known for far more than Ryujin. Its identity is heavily that of a pleasure den, and the place where it's all going down is the Astral Lounge, found at the trade tower entrance on the opposite end to Ryujin Industries. This opposing area of Neon Core is known as Bayu Plaza, named after Benjamin Bayu, a rather unfriendly character who practically owns Neon. Paying a visit yourself is just something everyone needs to do when they go to Neon, and I don't think people come here for the dancers necessarily. They're here for Aurora, a substance you'll be arrested for carrying in any other city. This piece of contraband can be purchased at the bar by anyone attending the lounge and is consumed anywhere in Neon except the spaceport. In fact, at least legally speaking, the Astral Lounge is the only place Aurora is authorized to be sold in the city. It slows time, which can be useful in combat if you've got any that you don't wish to sell, but we're too adventurous for the main floor, so head up the elevator over here and have a sneak around the upper levels, steal the expensive booze, meet the DJ Borealis, and perhaps talk to Administrator Bayu in his private viewing room if you're brave enough to disturb him, and meet the man in charge of it all. Speaking of lounges and club-type places, there are others outside of the Astral Lounge that you won't want to miss. Madame Sauvage's place has a cool vibe and sells a trademark potent beverage called Velocity, colored differently using bioluminescent plankton. And if you don't come here on your own volition, you'll probably end up visiting anyway if you dive into all the missions on offer in Neon. Euphorika can also be found on the other side of Ebside, selling their signature canned cocktail Chimera and offering access to a VIP lounge for 5,000 credits. Perhaps you'll find some Aurora here too. They certainly sell other specialty items to cater to rich customers, like literal cubes of fine wine. Like any bar, you might also find a crew member you want for your ship. Getting Aurora in the Astral Lounge or visiting the Euphorika VIP area that people like to take it in is one thing, but you'll find yourself enjoying Neon a lot more if you get wrapped up in making it yourself. A key ingredient involved in its creation is the oils of a fish known as a Chasmbass, found in abundance in the oceans of the planet. The company tasked with creating it is known as Xenofresh, and assisting them is truly fishy business. But to even begin that, you'll want to follow the quest you get when you enter Neon of talking to Nesha in jail. This is the man you see getting in trouble with the law when you first enter the spaceport. Talk to him through his door in the Neon Security HQ and he'll ask for your help. Follow the quest from there and you'll end up getting wrapped up in additional quests and a whole operation that sees you make the substance yourself and learn the recipe so you can craft it at any pharmaceuticals lab in the game. So that you don't miss out on the recipe, make sure you do your shift again, completing the final quest called Supply Line. Speaking of contraband in the Neon Security HQ, you probably don't want to miss stealing from the contraband chest that's been left unlocked in the back. You'll probably find it most convenient to grab it when you first come to visit for the quest we previously talked about. There can be a significant amount of contraband in here that you'll be able to sell to the Trade Authority vendor in the core area of Neon. Even on a low-level character, I still found a whole bunch of contraband giving me a nice boost of credits early on. Just don't get caught. But if you don't want to get wrapped up in the quest that takes you to the Xenofresh facility and don't feel like doing anything immoral like stealing, you still won't want to miss visiting the Underbelly of Neon where the fishing operation is to see it for yourself. You can head to Ebside through this door and then go in the elevator over here and walk this way to have a look at what's going on. And if you go through the fish market and then turn right at the Genodyne Power Facility building, you'll actually be able to go and access this door over here, which takes you to an outside platform that looks out onto the ocean. It's another thing you've just got to do for the vibes, but it's also the perfect place to get the planet data for Neon by scanning the fish. There's two species here for you to scan. There's the Chasmbass, as mentioned, but also another called a hunting shark whale. The Genodyne building I mentioned belongs to the company solely responsible for Neon's power supply. Thunderstorms are frequent on the planet, and in order to provide energy to Neon, a giant conduction grid has been placed above it to harness the power provided by lightning. One thing you won't want to miss in Neon is actually walking on it. I mean, it's probably not safe, but it sure is fun. There would be more than one way to get up here, and you'll definitely want to get a boost pack, preferably a power pack or a balanced boost pack. The way I've gotten up there is on screen. I head into Ebside from this entrance that takes you to Madame Sauvage's place, then turn right and run all the way down here up these stairs, going up the stairs until you get to here, and then just boost pack your way way over to hop on the edge. Technically, you can also run all the way to jump into the Sky Suite balcony and access this player home for free, but you'd have to use this entrance every time to get in, so it's not exactly convenient. Speaking of player homes, something more affordable can be found in one of Neon's poorest areas. In this part of Ebside, you will find sleep crates, tiny little rooms for people to sleep in and use a toilet, and look, there's not much to them, not even when it comes to intangibles and basic rights like privacy. It just really shows you how bad life is on Neon for those who aren't in the upper class. However, if you're going to go beyond being a tourist, looking at what life in Neon can really be like, and roleplay as someone doing it tough, or simply want to buy a very cheap player home, you can buy your very own sleep crate. Enjoy living the Neon street rat life for just 6,500 credits. It can be a cool thing for roleplaying, particularly if you want to immerse yourself in the slimy, tougher side of life in the city, or perhaps you're a criminal and want to roleplay having a secret spot to lay low, gather intel, and blend in. Speaking of criminals, many of them prey on the poor street rats of Neon, so another thing you really don't want to miss is going to this part of Ebside, where an impoverished local will approach you with a warning about the Disciples gang. They are brutal, sadistic killers. He'll also tell you about the Ebside Strikers, a gang that used to be in control. They're still criminal, but they're not the kinds of people to just kill their marks for a laugh. Anyway, you're directed to a quest called the Audition, where you can actually join the Strikers and try to help them revitalize their presence on Neon. I strongly recommend the quest, especially if you've got the kind of backgrounds and traits that would fit right in with those crowds. You'll also end up getting this sick outfit, which you might have seen on one of our thumbnails before. So if you want to get involved with some good old-fashioned turf warfare, then go do the chain of quests involving the Strikers and choose wisely. Your decisions will have different outcomes, perhaps unexpectedly so. Whether your loyalty is with the Strikers or not, another thing you need to know about Neon is that one of the vendors that opens up during the gang questline here sells a Wakizashi. At least she seems to on multiple playthroughs we've tested, and the most important thing about this is that it actually seems to be the case even in the early game. You can always get a Wakizashi from a different vendor later, but this is perfect for any melee build early on because you can quickly escape from Rescue Axe tier and elevate your character's combat experience fast. It's such a fun weapon to use and quite strong compared to other melee weapons available in the game. One other place you won't want to miss on Neon is the Taiyo Astroneering offices. In general, I'd recommend having a browse around all the different offices on Neon, as there's quite a lot of characters to meet and lore to learn about. But Taiyo Astroneering, which is owned by Ryujin, has this whole showroom area with their own ship vendor I haven't seen people talking about. You can modify your own ship here or buy brand new ships, and if you're a master ship builder who goes around hunting for very specific parts, you'll be able to find some unique Taiyo parts for your ship. They've also got their classic cockpits available, but you'll need Starship design for those with the best stats possible. Speaking of visiting all the offices, I'd highly recommend visiting all the markets and shops and meeting all the other vendors available in the game, because then you'll find a bunch of quests on offer from shopkeepers who have issues they want help with. Many of the missions will have you learn more about the city and the kind of shady characters who inhabit it and make it so unique. Perhaps you'll assist the owner of the Emporium deal with a new member of the Sayuka Syndicate, or help Frank from Neon Tactical to get revenge on the gang member who turned his robot into an artwork. If you choose to do this, you'll come face to face with another Disciples member and get more exposure to what that gang is truly like. Speaking of Neon Tactical, another thing you do not want to miss on Neon is Boom Boom, a shotgun actually sold by Frank. I love this shotgun and used it for a huge part of my first playthrough. The gun model, called a shotty, is decent to begin with, typically holding 12 rounds. Boom Boom can hold 20, allowing for constant blasting, but the star of the show is the explosive effect it comes with, making some shots randomly explode, causing area damage and often some stagger. I'll easily just spray next to an enemy in cover I can't hit until the explosion procs and finishes them off. Obviously, if you don't want to use shotguns, you don't have to rush off to buy this gun for around 18k, but I'd still strongly recommend it as an early game expense that's worth it after a few loot holes, so long as shotguns can suit your playstyle. The chance you do find a shotty with the explosive effect with the exact same mods on it is quite low, so it's a very convenient way to just purchase something strong from the get-go. Just don't shoot an enemy at extremely close range, as the explosion, if it happens, could actually backfire onto you. The final thing in this video I strongly recommend you do not miss on Neon is talking to various NPCs about Benjamin Bayu. It is so interesting to dig up dirt about him and learn the lore behind how he operates Neon, how corrupt certain parts are, how he makes his credits and exerts his control. He has some dirty secrets you can hear about during different quests or just by talking to the right people. For example, if you sleep at the Volai Hotel for 3 nights, the hotel owner will be comfortable to tell you some secrets about him. If you persuade the woman at the counter in the Genodyne power facility, she will also tell you an interesting thing. There's bits and pieces everywhere that are great to explore. I also chose the gangster background, so I started with the theft skill and pickpocketed his penthouse key when he wasn't looking upstairs at the Astral Lounge. I visited his place using the elevator outside the lounge entrance stairs. It was fun to sleuth around, and he also has a copy of the Price of Destiny book that gives you the St. Louis Monument landmark to go visit on Earth. You might very well want to go and visit Earth if you go this route, as you may get a bug like I did where you're unable to leave his penthouse using the elevator once you're in. You may have to fast travel out, which is totally an option. Do subscribe for more Starfield content because we're going to be making so much of it here on Fudge Muppet. Please do hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and let us know in the comments what kind of Starfield content you want to see next. We've got lots of builds coming, all sorts of guides like this being planned, and even videos on the way for specific ship builds for those interested in that. Thank you so much for all of your support. My name is Michael, and I'm going back to play more Starfield.